excited? What's up,
people? I am back. Alright, today we're going to move up into the inequalities world. And we're not just going to talk about two-step inequalities, people. We are going to talk about multi-step inequalities. Of course, that means they got more than two steps. And if you can count, that'd be like 3 or 4 or maybe even 5 steps. So, I hope you can stick around today for the next 15 minutes or so and learn a little something here about the inequalities. Do you know the song I'm playing in the background? Of course, you can send me that later. And we'll see what happens. All right, multi-step inequalities. Here we go. So, just in a little quick review, of course, we know we've got our inequality symbols. We've got our old less than and greater than. Of course, they get the open circles when you graph them. And, of course, then we've got the less than or equal to and the old greater than or equal to. And, of course, they get the closed circles when you graph them. So we'll not only be solving them today, we'll be graphing them as well. So let's just start out with a nice little easy one here. And we'll review a couple things that we have done plenty of times in the equation world. Now we're just switching it over to the inequality world. Okay? So let's say we've got one like this. We've got 2 on the outside. And then you got your n minus 7 is greater than, again, that's greater than 4. Okay? So the first thing I'd want you to realize and see here is that you got that subtract sign in the middle. And of course, we're going to come right there to that subtract sign. We're going to do a little additive inverse and make that a plus negative. And then I'd want you to draw your little arrows out because, of course, this is distributive property. So I did additive inverse first. And then I did a little distributive property. All right, so that would be some of the things we've talked about before with our equation stuff. So anytime you see a subtract sign, go ahead and do additive inverse to that. Just make our little plus negative there. And then if you want to draw your arrows out for distributive property. So here we go. What's 2 times n? Of course, that would be 2n. And 2 times negative 7 would be negative 14. And I'll just copy down the rest. So now I've got 2n plus negative 14 is greater than 4. All right. So now we're going to go back and do a little train track stuff here. To cancel out our constant here, our negative 14, we're just going to add 14 to the left, which means we need to add 14 to the right. Them jokers right there, of course, make a 0 pair. Trot your little 2n down here. Keep your sign the same. So I got 2n is greater than 4 plus 14 is 18. So at the moment, after I add 14 to both sides, I've got 2n is greater than 18. One more step and I'm home free. All right, I'm going to divide by 2. And I'm going to divide by 2. Of course, whatever you do on the left side, you got to do the same thing on the right. 2 divided by 2, of course, cancels out because 2 divided by 2 is 1. So I got n is greater than 18 divided by 2 is 9. I did not need to switch the symbol in this problem because I did not divide by a negative. Okay, I just divided by a plain old 2. Okay, that 2's been positive the whole time. That would come down here. So since you just divided by a regular old positive 2, that would be 18 divided by 2 is 9. So first thing I did here, of course, I canceled out the subtraction with adding 14, and I canceled out the multiply with divide. Now if we graph that joker, all right, let's come right here and draw us a little number line. All right, let's put some numbers on there. 5 numbers is gracious plenty. So that'll be 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. My question to you is, since that's just a plain old greater than, which kind of circle am I going to put on there? Well, since it's just a plain one, remember the plain ones get open circles. Okay, so I'm just going to come right there to the 9. Put me a plain open circle, and that says the answers are supposed to be greater than 9. So the greater than, of course, you can see the greater than symbol is there. Hey, the greater than symbol's down there. So you want to shade it that way towards the greater than symbol. And that means all the true answers are over here. So of course 11 is greater than 9, 10 is greater than 9. Anything up this way is going to be greater than 9. And that's because we're shading the true answers. Okay. All right, so that's how you do that. So we got a couple steps we're throwing back in there. Don't forget, if you got a subtract sign, we're going to do a little additive inverse. And then, of course, when you got your number on the outside of the parentheses, we're going to do a little distributive property.
All right, let's try another one. You ready? We're going to solve it and graph it. Multi-step inequalities. All right. This time, let's put a negative number on the outside of this thing. Let's say we've got negative 3, and then you got 6 plus x in parentheses is less than 126. Okay. You ready? Let me slide that up so you can see a little bit better. All right. So we got negative 3 on the outside. 6 plus x is inside the parentheses. And again, this is just a plain old less than 126. All right. So I don't have a subtract sign in here, so I don't need to do any additive inverse on this one. So I'm just going to do my little distributive property arrows here. Negative 3 times 6 is negative 18. Negative 3 times x is negative 3x. I've got less than, I got 126, so I'm just copying those down. All right. So again, now when I get to this point, after I've done my distributive property, I'll go ahead and draw some train tracks down there around my less than sign. My constant here that I want to cancel out is here, okay? This is the one that's got the x. This is the one that's the constant, so I want to cancel it out first. So you always want to cancel out and get rid of the constant. So I'm going to add 18 to the left and add 18 to the right. Them right there going to cancel out and make a 0 pair. Boom, boom, they're gone. Now over here, 126 plus 18. I see that's 14. That's 4. That's a 144. And then I'll make sure I'm going to say this. You see that's got a negative sign with it right there? Make sure you copy down that negative sign. That's negative 3x is less than 144. Please make sure you don't leave off that negative sign. Negatives are really important, people, so don't miss that. Alright, so my final step here is to divide by negative 3. So I'm going to divide by negative 3 on the left. I'm going to divide by negative 3 on the right. Of course, these cancel out. Negative 3 divided by negative 3 is just 1. Did I divide by negative? Yes. So that is going to change the symbol, okay? Switch the symbol. So don't forget the golden nugget from the last lesson, right? We'll keep them golden nuggets in your pot. If you multiply or divide by negative, you got to switch the symbol. Keep the answers true, okay? So we're switching that from a less than to a greater than. Now, a positive divided by a negative is a negative. Let's see. 3 goes into 14. That'd be 4 times. That'd be 24 left over. So that'd be negative 40 and 8. Okay? So x is not less than, because I had to switch the symbol. So now x is greater than negative 48. Okay? When you multiply or divide by negative, switch the inequality symbol around so you got true answers. Alright, let's come down here and graph this little joker. Alright, so the numbers would be, if I got negative 48 there, that'd be negative 47, negative 46. Going this way, I got negative 49 and negative 50. Okay? Since this is a plain greater than, you're going to have an open circle on your graph. Since it's a plain greater than, open circle on the graph. And greater than, of course, is that way. You can see the greater than symbols down here, which matches that. Okay, so you want to shade it towards the greater than symbol. And this means that these answers are all the true answers. And there you go. That's how it works. So I'll just run through all that again. Just didn't have anything to change here for additive inverse. Did distributive property. Got rid of the constant first. Added 18. Make sure you bring down that negative sign here. Divide by negative 3 on both sides. Because we divided by a negative, we want to switch the symbol from less than to greater than. And again, you want to shade it in the greater than direction, okay, which would be over here. And since that's a plain greater than, you get an open circle here. Alright, I'm going to take a little break. And here comes my friend to give you your riddle of the day. Hello, people! I'm back! Alright, so as we get closer and closer to the day of love, I figured I'd ask you another little Valentine's Day question today. So this one's about stamps, alright? So if you have ever mailed a letter anywhere, maybe you've helped your mom and dad send a bill in, you've got to put the stamp on the envelope. It's usually, up there in the upper right corner somewhere. You put the little stamp right there. All right, and sometimes you can put stamps on the back of them, to seal them up. Maybe put a little stamp back there and love you to your boyfriend or girlfriend back there. I don't know. I did that once upon a time to my girlfriend, sent a little note back there, and that was the last time I ever talked to her. All right, anyway, what did the stamp say to the envelope on Valentine's Day? Is today's riddle of the day, so send your answer in and let us know what you think about what the stamp said to the envelope on Valentine's Day. All right, hope you have a great one. Stay safe and healthy, and ciao for now. All right, people, I'm back. All right, we're going to do one more, and then we're going to be time to get out of here. So I'm going to pick up the pace here on number 3 a little bit, okay? Because we're about at the 11-minute mark. I don't want to keep much longer than that. So let's say we got this one. We got -4 on the outside of x minus 8 is greater than or equal to. All right, we're going to change the symbol up this time. Put your little greater than or equal into, and let's say it's greater than or equal to. Oh, let's just do 12. All right, you ready? Let's clear that up just a hair. All right, so let's run through this real fast. First thing, got a subtract sign in there. I'm going to do additive inverse to that. All right, next thing, distributive property. -4 times x is -4x. -4 times -8, a negative times a negative is a positive, and 8 times 4 is 32. All right, now, going to put down my train tracks. Going to subtract 32 from the left, which means I got to subtract 32 from the right. These 32s, of course, right here are going to cancel out because they're a zero pair. 12 and -32. Let's see, I got more negatives than I got positives. That's going to give me -20. Now I'm just going to trot this down here. -4x. Make sure you copy down the negative sign, people. Bring down that negative sign. -4x is greater than or equal to -20 is what I've got at the moment, okay? -4x is greater than or equal to -20. 12 plus -32 is -20. Here is the key to the whole thing here at the end. I have to divide by a -4. So when I divide by that negative, okay, that is going to switch my symbol, okay? Switch. Symbol. Am I going to switch the symbol in this problem? Yes.
I'm switching the symbol in this problem because I divided by a negative. So it's going to go from a greater than or equal to a less than or equal to, and a negative divided by a negative is a positive, and 20 divided by 4 is 5. Okay, so the proper answer to this inequality is x is less than or equal to 5. All right, let's graph it real fast. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to put 5 numbers on here. So that would be, what you got? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Since this has got the equal to underneath it, now remember when it's got the equal to, that's when you have a closed in circle. So right there on 5, you don't need to have an open circle, you should have a shaded in circle, closed all the way. And then of course the less than symbol is down here, and you want to go towards the less than symbol. So we're going to shade these answers down this way, and hopefully these are all the true answers down here, and we're going to check that just to make sure. So if we kept going, of course, down here we'd have 2, 1, 0. So I'm just going to use 0, put it back in the equation up here and check it and make sure these are the true answers, okay? So 0 plus -8 would be -8. -4 times -8, and negative times negative would be 32. Is 32 greater than or equal to 12? Is that true? Is 32 greater than or equal to 12? Yes, that is true. And so therefore, since that is true, that means I have shaded the proper answers. All these down here, all the negative numbers and everything down this way that would be coming next would be true answers in this inequality. So inequalities don't just have one answer, they have unlimited answers. All right? So that's a little review for you there on some stuff about how that might work on doing our multi-step inequalities. Okay? So remember, if you got a subtract sign in it, you need to do additive inverse and do your distributive property. And the big old gold nugget, of course, is if you multiply or divide by a negative here, you need to switch the old symbol around, okay, to keep the answers true. Hope this is helping you. Hope you're feeling all right. Hope you're doing all right. Hope you stay healthy, wealthy, and wise. Until next time, peace.